Hey guys, and welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 1, episode 7 of Battlestar Galactica. I cannot believe that we are like halfway through season 1 at this point because there's 13 episodes, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm excited, and also like it's crazy that I feel like we're just barreling through this show. You guys probably don't feel that way because you only get to see it once a week. I really like it so far. Last time on Battlestar Galactica, we had Hilo choosing Sharon and Boomer. Well, they're the same person. He chose her over escaping and possible freedom. I mean, the Cylons are watching him, so it would have been merely the illusion of freedom. But Sharon is also kind of the illusion of Sharon because she's not who he thinks that she is. Well, she is, because the models like share information, right? Or no? She knows everything that other Sharon knows. Or does she not? Anyway, I don't know. That happened. Still curious about what that storyline is going to unfold into as we continue on, but that's what the show intends, right? For me to be curious about it and want it to keep happening. So we have that. We also have, let's see. Oh yeah. Everybody now knows, or the rest of humanity that exists in space now knows, that the Cylons can look human. This could be very bad because pack mentality, like paranoia, just people as a whole making poor decisions when it comes to being panicked and worried and in sort of state of emergency situation. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. However, if I'm remembering correctly, Adama is still the only one, aside from Gaius, who knows that there are 12 Cylon models, right? Because didn't Gaius, or we don't know who, but I think Gaius, slip him the note that said that there were 12 models? And of course, we, the audience, know of 4. The characters, know of 2. I think I've got this all right. But again, Adama is the only one who is aware. I don't think he told the president, can't remember, that there are 10 others, and that's it, at least for now. Again, they could like start producing more, who knows, but I think that that's where we are. Cylons, the reason that everybody now knows is because the one guy blew himself up, and then there was like a whole security issue, and I mean, you guys watched the last episode, you know, I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. Anyway, I'm caught up. I hope you guys are caught up. Let's just watch this. And I'll stop rambling right now.
Do you have any idea what they will do to me if they find out? Treason is punishable by the death penalty.
He's not wrong.
You know, we gotta go right now.
I don't see the hand of God in here. I'm sure I can find evidence of his divine hand.
What is it that drives you to blasphemy, Gaius?
Indeed, every waking hour is spent in what some might say has become my own personal religion, the Church of the Mystic Cylon Detect.
If you would give yourself over to God's will, you'd find peace in his love like I have.
There is only one true God.
Yeah, your God, my God, everyone's God. He's big enough for all of us, isn't he?
He's placating her because he just wants to have imaginary sex.
I'm trying to save your immortal soul.
Your superstitious drivel actually appeals to the half-educated dullards that make up most of human society. No rational, intelligent, free-thinking human being truly believes.
I don't think that that's accurate.
My fantasy. See if I care.
Um, it's just probably actual reality knocking on the
Ben,
door.
get right down to...
What did you say?
I talk to myself.
The commander would like to see you in the CIC, Doctor.
Excuse me?
Just a thought. You wanted to see me, Commander?
Miss Godfrey has brought some very disturbing accusations.
She's standing right there.
I'm right here.
Yeah, of course we will.
Doctor, this is Miss Godfrey.
You can all see her.
She's standing right next to you.
What? A real version of her is on the ship? Holy shit. That's amazing.
Miss Godfrey, I'm very pleased, if slightly puzzled, to make your acquaintance.
Don't touch me, you traitor.
She talked to me.
You're the one who let the Cylons into the defense mainframe. And I'm here to see that you're exposed and sentenced to death.
It was a plot twist I did not see coming. She's actually there? Like, I know that before she wasn't really there, or the ones in his mind aren't really there, but like, she's standing. That's amazing. That's so much better though, because he would think that she wasn't really there. But she is. I love that so much. That's so good. You guys, that's so good. Like, she like, I mean, obviously I don't want anything bad to happen to him, because I do kind of like him, but that's funny.
Miss Godfrey has made some startling accusations.
I'm sure she has.
I've never seen this woman before in my life.
Dr. Emmerich was my associate.
She says you sold out the human race.
Well, it's a pity he's no longer with us. How convenient that we only have your word for that.
He gave me this for safekeeping. As you can see, the man in the photo is carrying an explosive device.
I definitely never did that.
That's a long way from proof, Miss Godfrey.
There's a reflection of the man's face.
You can't tell anything from that.
The image could be enlarged and sharpened.
It would take at least a day, sir.
Let me know as soon as you have an image. We're gonna suspend all work on the Cylon detector, as well as your security privileges.
But what does she want? What can she gain from doing this? Unless she just wants him to, like, listen to her more. But surely it's not him, so.
Squeeze the ligament with your hand while you slide your weight on your left hip into the lymphatic sac.
Well, that's just stupid.
Afternoon, sir.
Chief's inside?
Yeah.
Chief! Oh!
Yes, sir.
How's it coming in there?
Disgusting.
Come on,
Starbuck.
Starbuck. You can do it. Your crutches of death, sir.
Shut up.
Gonna hurt like hell, but it's supposed to.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. You did it.
You're not gonna get better lying on your back.
I don't want to do it again. I want a pill now, please.
Sorry, we're weaning you off the magic pills starting today, and besides, I need them for myself.
I mean, they only have so much pain meds, probably.
Look, I was wondering, is there any chance that come back to the Colonial One?
No, I'm sorry, Doctor. You have been put on a no-fly list. Security.
Not surprising. Oh, is she okay?
Godfrey woman in particular, she's got it in for me. I have reason to believe.
Is he gonna say it? I don't know that he should.
She may be a Cylon. Madam President?
Madam President.
Oh.
Let's get Doc Cottle over here now. The president's collapsed.
She didn't hear.
Is she alive? Yes, the president is alive.
How many of these did you take, young lady?
3.
Everybody wants to be their own doctor. You are lucky that you didn't lapse into a coma.
Stories all over the fleet. I am so sorry.
Get me on my feet and in front of the press before the end of the day.
I could give you a shot, but you wouldn't like the side effects.
Do it.
What are the side effects? I would like to know the side effects first.
It's not that kind of a shot.
Get a booty shot.
Altar's correct, but the convenience of it all. Emmerich just happens to bring you the key piece of evidence.
He wanted me to take some things off the ship for safekeeping.
Why did he give it to you?
Because she looks like that would be a good excuse.
I loved him very much. There are times when I just feel so alone.
Girl, are you trying with it?
I want so much to be held again.
No.
Do not, under any circumstances, allow Shelley Godfrey to leave this ship. Put her under surveillance discreetly.
He's sus of her because of that? I cannot believe she tried to go there with Adama. Oh, you can't seduce everyone. I mean, when you look like that, you can probably seduce most people, but... I love the little Cylon models. That's all that Cylon had to do was like, oh. I wonder if it's gonna turn out to be Gaius because she planted it, or if it's, I mean, because we know that it wasn't actually him, but I wonder if it's actually gonna turn out to be him or not. Is she gonna seduce this guy next? Okay, no, he's just going to the bathroom. Never mind. I was being dramatic. All right, can you give people privacy?
Lieutenant, is that you? Doctor, well, isn't this a coincidence?
Not really, you followed him in there.
You're busy, yes, I know. I don't want to distract you, please.
Maybe wait until he's like washing his hands.
Has it ever occurred to you that the photograph, the disc itself, could be a fake? Someone's coming, someone's coming. Wait, Kelly, please, you forgot to wash your hands.
Ew. First off.
What the hell? I want answers. You are not Shelley Godfrey either. You're a fake. You're just a copy. Cylon copy.
Get out.
No more Mr. Nice Gaius!
Mr. Nice Gaius.
I have no idea how Starbuck got this thing to move, much less fly.
It's not really a thing, you know? Probably a Cylon itself.
Mm-hmm.
More of an animal, maybe, than the human models. Can't treat it like a thing and expect it to respond. I have to treat it like a pet. At least that's my guess.
Your guess?
Is there something else that you want to say?
No.
I mean, you were very familiar with it? Like it was your pet?
Well, I figured you wouldn't bounce back so fast. Chief wanted me to kick your ass out of bed so you could help figure out that raider of yours, but clearly you still need the rest.
Do you actually think that reverse psychology crap is gonna work on me?
All I know is that every day you spend in that bed is another day that I have my opinion of you confirmed.
That's reverse psychology right there. And I reckon it'll work.
President hopes you're innocent. So do I. Because if you're not, then you've made fools of both of us. And I don't like to be made a fool of.
To be fair,
And I don't like to be accused of participating in the genocide of the human race.
he is kind of innocent because he didn't do it on purpose. He was just horny.
I'm an innocent man who is being convicted in the court of public opinion without trial.
And the thing is, he actually has been trying to help them this whole time.
Fire, all hands report to damage control stations. Fire, all hands...
Did she do that? Did she do that so that she can get rid of the picture? Or he did that so he can get rid of the picture?
Erase, erase, erase.
Oh. You are in a race against time.
Man down!
Take him to the brig.
Yes, Commander.
Oh shit. Wonder what's gonna happen.
Hey.
Well, your new boyfriend's a bit of a jerk, sir.
It's a girl.
Well, if you don't mind her goo on your face, it's all yours, sir.
I would not want to get back in there. I bet it stinks.
This is stupid!
It's worth a try, sir.
Ride it.
Treat it like a horse.
A horse, a horse. Why not a goat? Think of it as a goat. Come on, boy. Giddy up.
Chief! Chief!
Don't shoot anything.
Doctor.
The president, right? Sound like her voice.
You are here to free me, right?
I don't think so. I think she's just saying
Bring this
sorry.
travesty to a close because you know I'm innocent. I'm being framed.
I want to believe you.
He's actually telling the truth this time.
I believe you were involved in the attack, somehow.
I mean, he was, but not exactly like that. Like, he didn't do it on purpose.
If I don't wish to be executed based solely on your gut feeling.
You sleep, I watch.
No, you're the one who needs sleep.
If something happened to you, I wouldn't know how to deal with it.
I feel the same way.
Look, I knew what was going on. I mean, between you and the chief.
I think everybody did.
But he has feelings for her?
I would have given anything to be him.
I mean, I knew it, but still. I can't believe he just said it like that.
You feel the way you feel, and I have to respect that.
Doesn't look like either of them are going to be doing very much sleeping.
It's not true.
Has no one ever had sex in a different position and seen the red? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
Dear God.
Oh, he's actually... This is what she wanted.
And I now acknowledge that you are the one true God.
This is why she did it.
Deliver me from this evil. I will devote the rest of what is left of my wretched life.
This is what she wanted the whole time. She's gonna show up. Something's gonna happen.
To carry out your divine will.
Prayer, the last act of a desperate man, right? Yeah.
It will be as God wants it to be.
I haven't even had a trial yet.
They found out it was tampered
The
with.
photograph was a fake.
Yeah.
What? Her face, the man, the reflection was all a fake.
Thank you.
I just knew that you could never have anything to do with that attack.
How did she get off of the ship?
Had 2 Marines tailing her. They say they went around the corner and she was gone.
There's no sign of her.
That's unacceptable. She was here. She was right here.
Her glasses.
Wanted to discredit Dr. Balto because of his work on the Cylon detector.
Well, I don't think so.
And to recognize you once again among us as a scientist, a leader, and a friend.
I would, like, very skeptically be friends with her. I'm just saying. She was so ready to have you executed for treason.
You're even more popular and powerful than ever before. Hard for anyone to accuse you of treason again.
That's why she did it. Part of the reason.
Was that the plan or not?
Mm-hmm.
Tearing me down?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, was there ever a woman really called Shelley Godfrey?
I don't think she's gonna answer your question.
That's what we've done.
Like, she just... It's believable, don't get me wrong. But she just gets naked and he's like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. Alright, so this was a really good episode. I like the interplay of religion and humanity and just the idea of kind of... what did I write down? The fickleness of humanity. And okay, so I was a religion minor in college. I think I've said that before, but I just really enjoy the idea of religion and the way that it affects people and the way that people believe and don't believe and X, Y, and Z, right? So it's really interesting that they have such a play on religion in this show. And I know like a lot of you guys have told me this is very much post 9/11 world, and they're really using that as a way to talk about religion and different religions and all that stuff, which I think is really fascinating. I really like the way that the Cylons are the ones that are representing what is it called? Like Judeo-Christian religion, right? Like they're the ones who are really championing. Why does that word sound so weird? Am I saying it wrong? Anyway, they're all for the Judeo-Christian sort of monotheistic religion, right? One God, many disciples sort of situation, right? And so far, the children of Kobol, right, humanity, is more polytheistic, many gods, lords of Kobol, that sort of situation, which is such a fascinating dichotomy and conversation that they're having here, because the Cylons are really pushing for God and his divine will and his I don't know, I didn't write everything down, but like just it's very centered on, at least coming from Six, that she really wants for Gaius to believe in God and to become one of his children and to sort of have a personal relationship with him. And that's sort of her talking points in a way regarding religion and what she believes and all that stuff, right? And at first it seemed like, okay, so once he started praying, she came back, right? So she got from him what she wanted. Like, this was his trial by fire, like she said, right? This was his road to Damascus. I don't know if that makes sense, but this was his, what do they call it when people go through something and then they come out of it religious, and then his testimony, right? This would be his testimony for, like, I started out as non-religious and then I went through this thing, prayer, the last act of a desperate man, like I said, and then I came out the other side and God saved me. Like, I believed in God after that, because I went through X, Y, and Z and I saw the light. Now, to be clear, I'm not disparaging that at all. Like, I think everyone is entitled to believe what they want to believe. I think it's interesting, though, the way that this is being framed, right? Because, and I don't know that it's intentional, because in the comments you guys have said that my comparisons to the Cylons and God are a little bit off base, right? So the show isn't intending to make that parallel, but the show is very much making that parallel. So whether it's intentional or not, he went through a trial by fire, he prayed, and God came to him and saved him, right? In this case, God is Six. She is the Cylons, you know, because in his story, in Gaius's story at least, in his testimony of the trials and tribulations he prayed, he was saved, it was by Six, right? Like, you could say that she was an agent of God, sure, But there is also definitely a parallel to be made that she is, in this situation, God. It's also very interesting to me that she talked about saving his immortal soul, which obviously is a very, well, maybe not obviously, if you have never studied religion or been Christian or studied Christianity, you might not know. But the idea, well, it's not just a Christian idea, right? It's a very prolific idea through a lot of religions, is the idea of an immortal soul. Like your body is just the house of your soul and it lives on after you die. It's interesting that she talked about that because she is a Cylon. So the Cylons shouldn't have souls, at least not in the way that we understand them, because they were not made by God. They were made by man. So man is not, in my understanding of Christianity, able to make a soul. So it's interesting that she would mention a soul in general, because I don't know, it's just so fascinating to me, the idea that the Cylons would believe in Christianity and a soul and this monotheistic sort of religion when they don't have the basic tenets that would be required to be a part of the religion, at least as we understand it. Again, they could be challenging that belief. I don't know. I think it's really interesting that they're delving so deep into it, and I want to see where they go with it, because I'm really fascinated by like following this train of this idea of Christianity and the Cylons, and if they are a new form of life, then it makes sense that forms of life, intelligent life, feel the need to make sense of why we're here, why they're here. And so that they would then attach themselves, either create a religion or attach themselves to an existing religion. And it's just interesting that they chose Christianity versus the more prevalent polytheistic religion of the Lords of Cobalt that is already readily available, that most people seem to believe in. I'm curious as to just where they're going to go with it, like I said before, and like how it's going to play out, because I do think that it's a fascinating thing, and I'm excited where they're going to go with it, you know. That's it. I was fully not expecting her to actually physically be there. I thought, and I'm sure that this was the intention, right? They got in a fight. She's wearing, you know, a sexy outfit like she always does. She shows up again. She's buttoned like all the way up to here to be like, no, you cannot enjoy this, you know? But then she was actually there, like physically there. Like everyone could see her there. And I love that plot twist. I love that plot point. I think it was a really fun, cool idea for an episode, execution of an episode, a way to have her actually physically there and to completely throw him off. I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. My question is, well, many questions and many things I want to talk about in regards to that. But she's nowhere to be seen now. That was fully her. The her in his head manifested, created the situation, got what she wanted out of it, and then went back into his head. So, to me, that says that my theory that she's actually somehow in his head, like literally in his head, and not just a figment of his imagination or a manifestation of his desires or his conscience or whatever, is actually true. Like, I think that somehow she has put herself in his head. Like, I think that that's actually her in his head, right? Like, obviously, physically, she's not there when he's talking to her. Like, we all know she's not physically there. Like, she wasn't there with him in the prison cell physically. She wasn't there with him physically, but mentally, like, I think that that's actually genuinely her. Which answers a question that I've had since whenever it was that first started happening. It's so good. It's so fun to get to see her interact with other characters as well. Like her scene with Adama, where I love that her default is just like seduction, which, again, I feel like it's very effective. So why the hell not? Like, I mean, she could seduce me. She could probably seduce you. Like, we would all be victims to it. Let's be real. But I just love that Adama's like, he let it happen. Like, he kissed her. I think that's all. But, you know, they kissed. He allowed that moment to exist. And then later he's like, you know, that's a bit sus. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to follow her because this is, in my mind, not making sense. Which, yeah, to be fair, if someone that looked like that seduced me, I would be like, there's something that you want, because, like, that doesn't make sense, you know? So, I like that he was intelligent enough to realize that, not just because, you know, she's fucking gorgeous, but just because it doesn't make sense that it's convenient timing when he's almost done with the Cylon detection device. It's weird timing that it would take that long for you to get to them. You're acting kind of weird because, like, you're crying about it and then you're trying to kiss me. Like, you know, I'm glad that he is very good at reading people, and he's like, this doesn't make sense, you know? So I really liked that scene. Plus, like I said, it's just really fun to get to see her her interact with other characters and other people in the story. Like, it's fun. I think it's really interesting also about the Cylon Raider ship and Sharon's conversation about it, right? Because she was definitely, like, interacting with it in the way, that you would interact with a horse or a very large animal that you're, like, touching on the face. And, like, you know, if you've ever interacted with a horse, pet a horse, whatever, that's kind of the way, like, the feel of it for me. And she had, like, this softness to her when she was interacting with the Raider, that if I was Tyrell, I really hope I'm saying his name right, Chief Tyrell, that I would be very suspicious of, because, like, there's a lot about her that doesn't add up. And of course, we know that it doesn't add up because she is a Cylon, like a sleeper cell. Of course, she doesn't know that. So it's very conflicting, because I don't know if I want them to find out that she's a Cylon. Because, one, obviously I'm rooting for our people, but also, like, I like Sharon, you know? I like her, and I like her being on the ship and her interactions with everybody, and I don't want to see those interactions disappear. So in a way, like, I don't want them to find out, but then in a way I do want them to find out, because, like, she could be used against them. But she's also fighting her programming, or at least she has been shown to fight it in the past. So I don't know, you guys. It's very conflicting. It's very conflicting, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know who wrote Cylon on her locker, or her mirror in her locker. I don't know who's suspecting her, but again, that could very well just be the mob mentality that I talked about earlier with humanity as a whole. It's just, it's not great, you know, when they get this sort of information and they don't. They don't always think in the most rational of ways, right? Now, again, we know she is a Cylon, so they're not off base, but what are they basing it off of? You know, we have, like, we, the audience, have actual knowledge that she is a Cylon. What is whoever wrote that's knowledge base? Also, speaking of Sharon and Hilo on Earth are developing into a romantic relationship, which, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that that's where it was gonna go the whole time. I feel bad because Hilo doesn't know that she's a Cylon, or that she's not actually the Sharon that he thinks that she is. So, you know, he can't help but point out that there are a little bit of consent issues there that should be, you know, just made aware of. You know, we just need to be aware of that. But also, and I said it during the episode, but you guys, I just have to say, do all Cylons just have, like, very basic missionary style sex? Because kind of weird that nobody's ever noticed the spine glowing red during sex, unless that they only have, you know, a very specific kind of sex. You know, I'm just gonna say. Oh yeah, Starbuck kind of got reverse psychologied by Ty, and he kind of was like, yeah, if you stay there, then I know, like, that my opinion of you is true, and that, you know, and of course she's gonna be like, oh, your opinion of me is, you know, something negative. And so she got up and she is now helping them figure out the Cylon Raider, which apparently, I don't know if I ever actually talked about it, but I talked about it in relation to being a horse. But I think it's really interesting, the idea that these ships are like pets, you know? Like, they're the horses or the dogs or the wolves or the whatever that people send out first in battle. And it's interesting that it would, like, attach to Starbuck in a way, right? Like, is it just because she used her foot in the back thing? Or is it because the Cylon Raider is sentient in some way and actually cares and, like, wants to work for Starbuck? I don't know which it is, but I think it's interesting that they're introducing this idea that, like, it could be a pet, that that the different Cylon models can, you know, be inserted into our world in different ways, like human, pet, who knows what's next, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, I think that is all that I have to say about this episode. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite episodes so far. It was so fun to see Six get to interact with people, to see Gaius have all of, you know, the different variations of himself, to see him interacting with Gaeta, just to see everything. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you had a lot of fun watching it as well. If you want, and you did have a lot of fun, you can watch the next episode right now over on Patreon, which will be linked in the description down below, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every episode thus far of Battlestar Galactica. It is on Patreon as well. And if you don't want that, then you can just wait a week and it'll be right here on YouTube for you to watch and enjoy. So I hope to see you next week for the next episode. Until then, bye guys!